We are at Mendota Prairie on the other side of Governor Nelson's State Park, which we were at yesterday. We have this lovely sprawling landscape going all over the place, and this also borders some very, very rich neighborhoods. And this can give you inspiration of what you can be if you make a lot of money in crypto. You can live in houses like that house over there. Look at that house. Acres and acres of rolling lawns, huge mansion, many rooms, comfortable living, probably servants, and a beautiful private golf course over there beyond the prairie. So that's what you could live in that's the glory that you could have if you actually make it in crypto. There are many of those houses over there, and with their own private golf courses. That is what you possibly have. But unfortunately, that is not in the future for most people because they are peasants. And peasants, when they make a lot of money, they blow it on stupid stuff like Lambos, which drain all their money. So they actually end up living in something like that barn over there, with the cows and the horses, because peasants just don't get anything better. Now, let's actually talk about our crypto topic for today, which is why there actually might be a dump coming after the halving, but not really because of crypto. Now, crypto, don't get me wrong, is being buoyed up by Tether right now. It's definitely being buoyed up by Tether right now. It's not like it's not an organic pump. Tether actually has printed 150 million more since yesterday, so we might be in for another segment of pump. Who really knows? It's really hard to tell what the whales are actually doing right now. But the reason we might actually be going for a dump is because crypto has been following the stock market decently closely recently. Not one for one, obviously, but decently closely recently. And the thing is, the stock market, I believe, is kind of like in a kind of a fake stage of recovery right now. The employment numbers just came in, and we are at 15% official, but if you actually count the unemployed who haven't really filed and other people like that, you will probably get over 20% unemployment. Now, 20% unemployment, and we're still at $24,000 Dow Jones. And the NASDAQ is actually above where it actually started this year. Now, that's just a bunch of baloney. That is basically the government pouring trillions of dollars into the economy to try to float it up. They can't do that forever. But more importantly, the nation's leading doctors like Fauci and others have actually said that the states actually opening up could actually cause a second wave of pandemic. And I think it's quite likely numbers in other states outside of New York are actually going up. And obviously, if you open up, people have more contact. So a virus that spreads by droplets is obviously going to actually infect a lot more people. That's just really more or less common sense. And I think we're going to actually see that. The number of casualties has actually gone up this week, according to the official stats. And cases haven't really been going down all that much. And we might actually see a case rise, according to some top medical experts in the United States, in the following week. So we'll see what happens. If that actually happens, we might actually have to shut down once again, or some states, and that will cause a complete loss of confidence in the economy, which will probably go for maybe an even sharper downturn than where we were the first time. And actually, many CNBC analysts are saying that we can actually test the bottoms once again at around 18,000, which actually makes a lot of sense, because I really don't think the market has actually truly reacted to the greatest loss of jobs since 1939 or just before World War II. It's been 80 years since we've actually had unemployment numbers this high. So that's why I think Bitcoin might actually, and the crypto market will actually go for a second dip post-halving. And not really because of Bitcoin itself. Yes, I think they'll stop pumping it with Tether after the halving, but it's hard to tell whether they will or not. Obviously, right now they're buying a lot of Bitcoin with Tether on Binance, and that's a lot of what's keeping it up. But because the general economy, I think, will go southward, especially if the second pandemic wave happens, as a lot of experts think it will. Because the second wave happens, if we have a second wave of shutdowns, we're forced to do that, And Trump doesn't actually have authority over that. It'll be the individual state governors that actually make that call. If like the infection rates go up, the casualties go up, they will actually have to impose more measures. And once that actually happens, people are going to lose confidence in a fast recovery. Remember, the vaccine isn't really going to come out for another at least 8 months or so, and neither is a cure. We're going to have a cure hopefully by the end of this year, but that's a long time coming. And if the economy really remains crippled for the next half year or so, we're definitely in for more pain, because they can't just print out like infinite amounts of stimulus checks. Well, they can, but they'll run into trouble with that, and people, like the confidence of people of us getting over this and having a fast recovery very quickly will actually diminish. So that's why I think we might be going in for another dip post-halving. So I'm probably going to hold on to my USDC until post-halving to see what actually happens. I'm probably going to hold on for several weeks, if not several months, and that's my reasoning for doing so. I mean, that's just my opinion, and that's what I'm doing. You don't have to do it. I mean, just read the market for yourself, read what different analysts are saying, both on CNBC and across crypto channels, and make your own sound decision. But remember, you want to make moves where you end up in something like that and not something like that. So even if you get rich, don't buy a Lambo, save your money and buy something like that so you can have a comfortable living. That is today's episode. Thank you and have a nice day.